For Hispanic Heritage Month, we followed the journey of two artists in the Valley who found solace in their art during the pandemic. Each artist gave us a glimpse into their chosen art form and explained how art heals them. This performance is called Good Trouble Bucket. It represents change. Gloria Granados and Joan Barron created the performance using important symbols. Water for liberation, spreading clay on a fence representing the creation of a new way of life, because they are tired of what they see.
Every day we're hearing on the news of all these terrible things that continue to happen to immigrants. And it's just really unjust to take advantage of a person's labor and so easily just dismiss them.
Pita Juarez has a new approach to life.
Oh, what kind of Mexican are you?
Her heart is behind the scenes. She spends most of her time working on her films. You Racist Sexist Bigot is one of them.
I've always been the type of person to take on more than I should, and that brings me a lot of stress. But the things that I take on are all things that I'm super passionate about.
Both artists live in the Valley.
The most important object that
Granados is from Guanajuato, Mexico, and Juarez from Guatemala. Coronavirus has affected the country in different ways, and according to the CDC, mental health outcomes are worse in racial/ethnic minorities. A 2010 study conducted by the National Institute of Health found that creative engagement can decrease anxiety, stress, and mood disturbances. Rhiannon Chavez is a therapist who says she knows it firsthand.
Art therapy is probably one of my favorite things to use, especially if they're willing to kind of explore with you and actually really start thinking of it as more abstract.
Granados and Juarez say art is a powerful method to combat this issue. For me, art therapy looks like dancing, but for filmmaker Pita Juarez, her chosen art form sometimes brings stress.
So it's like a weird balance.
For Granados, besides releasing stress, art also helps her to express her heritage.
creating art and having it be about something that is so personal for me has been a healing practice for me.
It also brings me so much joy when I'm editing and creating stories, and I'm just like, oh, this is exactly what I worked so hard for.
Rosaura Wardsworth, Cronkite News. Juarez is currently working on a new film about environmental racism. Granados will continue to use her art as a way to tell her story. And Chavez plans to implement even more art-based practices in her work as a marriage and family therapist.